lifted it out of the water, I like pulled it like this. Look at her! And I mean, it's not as if they are going anywhere. So I don't know yet in which category this one is gonna fall. I hope it's at least a 2-day sweater. A melon is brown. No, Maya, go out of your comfort zone. Cashmere, that's what she wants. Hi, my name is Maya and welcome to episode 78 of my knitting podcast, where I share all my thoughts, process and other random stuff about all things fiber related, but mostly knitting. Today is the 8th of July 2026 and I'm coming to you from the French-speaking part of Switzerland where I live with my gecko. I hope the rest of the episode is not going to be as chaotic as the intro was. Today, I have a ton of stuff to tell you about. I have 4 finished objects. 2 of them are really small, but 2 of them are really big. I have 1 pattern release, and actually it was released last week, but first time I mentioned this pattern release in the podcast. And I have 2 works in progress, but there is one of them that I cannot show you, so I have 1 work in progress. And I have some acquisitions, which are not yarny acquisitions because I don't show those in the podcast anymore, but I do have a few knitting related things that have come into my possession lately. And I think that's it. Yes! So let's start immediately with the pattern release, which is the 30s top, which is what I am wearing. It's so cute! It's a pretty basic garment all over stockinette with a very big and beautiful statement bow on the front, but there are a lot of options and it's basic, but everything is in the details. So it's like an elevated basic, I guess. So for the specs, I'm just gonna look at my notes so that I make sure I don't forget anything. So first for the yarn, it's a sport weight pattern. So the gauge is 23 stitches by 35 rows. It's knit from the top down. It has a European shoulder construction, so you start with the back panel with some short rows on the shoulders to make the slope, and then you pick up for the front. And once you reach the underarms, after some underarm shaping, you join everything. And you can either work it with the open front, like a sleeveless cardigan, I guess, or closed front, which is what I have here. So you can work it flat or in the round. And then it also has, regarding options, it has optional bust darts, horizontal bust darts, and optional body shaping. And another option is that you can select what type of ribbon you want on the front, because you can either have small ribbons to have just like a hanging ties, I guess, or long ribbons to make a super cute and big bow. I love it so much. And of course it has a V-neck. So that's for the specs. Now for the sizing, it has 9 sizes, it is size inclusive and it is graded to fit the upper bust rather than the full bust. And I've been getting a lot of questions about that lately, so I will talk about that again. If you've been there for a while, you know all about this already because I talked about it at long length when I discovered the concept, but everyone needs to discover it at some point in their life. So if you don't know, upper bust measurement is measured right under the armpits and over the actual bust, breast on your chest. And full bust measurement is measured at the widest point of your chest, breast, bust. And full bust gives a good approximation of the actual size of your boobies, if you have some. But there is little to no correlation between the size of your boobs and the size of your skeleton, your stature, the size of your shoulders, the size of your muscles, all of that. It is absolutely not linked to the size of your boobs. Because, for example, I could be someone with big breasts and still have the same shoulder size. But if, for example, I have huge melons and I select a size based on the full bust given by my huge melons, I would end up with shoulders that are way too big for me, a neckline that's too wide, the shoulder seam that droop, and the armholes that are too big. It would just be too big, and the only place where the garment would fit me is around the big melons. I happen to be exactly the opposite, so I have pretty small kiwis. I don't have melons. And on top of that, my rib cage is pretty small, so my full bust measurement is really small compared to my actual shoulder size. So for a while I had been selecting sizes based on my full bust, But everything came out too small. The armholes were too tight, the neck holes were too tight, the shoulders were too small. Everything was too small because my full bust is smaller in regards to the standard sizing chart compared to my shoulders and the rest of my body. But if you use the upper bust measurement, which doesn't take into consideration the actual size of your breast and your boobs, it only uses like the size of your thorax, your chest, the size you are, not what the fat tissues on your chest are. And this gives a much better approximation of your shoulder size. So I use the upper bust measurement, which is actually larger than my full bust because my shoulders are so much wider than my ribcage would suggest. So it's helpful for small people like me, but it's also very helpful for people who have very large breasts because those people tend to be wary of having too much positives in their garments because if they use the full bust and they add positives to the full bust, then yes, of course, the shoulders, the neckline, everything is going to be way, way, way too big for them. Whereas if they use the upper bust measurement, which is usually a lot smaller than the full bust because they don't take into consideration the big melons, then they have something that fits them a lot better around the shoulders, the neckline, the armhole depths, all of that. And for the 30s top, it was really important to use the upper bust because, as you can see, the V-neck is pretty deep. And if you don't want to flash anyone if you wear it without anything underneath, which of course you can do whatever you want. I just like to wear it this way because I don't like having multiple layers for something that is sleeveless. It's just me. But if I don't want to flash people, I need this to be like tight around my upper bust. Otherwise, when I lean forward, you can see everything. And here, I mean, it does come forward a little bit because of the weight of the ribbon, but it's not like, I mean, it's not too bad either. It's not as if you can see everything. So it was very important to have something fitted around the upper bust, which is why I use this measurement. Because if you have something fitted around the full bust, it can still be too big up here, and you can still flash people when you lean forward, because here you're still gonna have a gap up here. I hope this makes sense. So this is why I use upper bust measurement in most of my patterns that have something to do with the shoulders. If there is no shoulders, like for a summer top or something like that, I will often use the full bust. Or if the shoulder fit is not really important, like it doesn't break the pattern if the shoulders fall at a different place, then I will use the full bust measurement. But usually I use upper bust. And no, it's not because you don't understand this measurement that it's a red flag. Anyway, for the yarns I used, so this red sample is knit up using Studio Linen Echo by Erica Knight in the colorway Lighthouse, which is a beautiful deep red. I would say it's a mix between burgundy and red. It's like a bright red, but it's a little bit toned down. I love it. It's really beautiful. And it's an amazing blend of recycled linen, aka viscose, and premium linen, so it's 100% linen basically. It's gorgeous, it's super soft, it has a lovely drape. I really, really like it. And it's super breathable in the summer. It's listed as a DK weight. Don't do that. It's gonna be see-through. I have tried, I have swatched, and for another design, a tester has used it at the suggested gauge for this yarn. It's see-through, so just don't knit it tighter than what it suggests. I think the suggested gauge is like 21 stitches. Don't do that. Go at least to 23 stitches. I mean, you do you, of course, but if you don't want to have something see-through, don't go to the suggested gauge. Whatever. The second sample, the brown one, actually the first one I made, I used Bouclé Seide by Seiden Atelier, which is a Swiss maker, so local to me. And I got this yarn at the Swiss Yarn Festival a couple of years ago, I guess, or maybe this year, I don't remember, whatever. It's a gorgeous 100% silk bouclé yarn, which is very unusual, and it's beautiful. It has a gorgeous drape, it's amazing. I had some issues with the grow gauge, because being silk and being bouclé, it didn't really behave the way I thought it would. So that's why this sample is a bit too elongated, so the V-neck is too deep, the armholes are too deep, all of that. But I still think it's beautiful, so I'm still showing it nonetheless. And yeah, I definitely recommend this yarn, it's beautiful. It's also very expensive, but I think it's worth it, because it's so unique, so gorgeous. Anyway, the testers really outdid themselves. I mean, I was really excited to see, I am always excited to see how a design I have imagined can actually look like on bodies that are different than mine. I mean, I can imagine it, but it's always different to see it in person, I mean, in picture. And I was just so happy because I think you have probably heard this. It's like, not a trend, it's a type of real content where basically fashion people try to like compare styles and understand different types of outfit and try to determine if it looks cute because the person is thin or because the outfit is actually cute. And it just shows that in a lot of cases, it's perfectly valid point of view, I think. A lot of outfits just look cute because the person is like in the, how do you say that, the beauty standards that are running nowadays, which is of course wrong on so many levels, but it is unfortunately true. And with this top, with the 30s top, I was like so happy to witness with my own eyes that it actually, I mean, it looks super cute on thin people, but it looks even cuter on curvy people and like fat bodies. And when I was receiving the pictures from the people in the higher sizes of the range, I was like, oh my god, it looks even better on them. And I was a bit jealous, like, oh my god, I want to have curves too. So yeah, that made me really, really happy. Also so happy for them, because it is unfortunately quite unusual to have patterns that look even better. Not to say that it doesn't look good on thin people, but that looks even better on people that have curves. And I thought it was important enough to mention it. So yeah, big shout out to the testers of the bigger sizes, because they are quite difficult to find, but it's so useful for other people when they can actually see the garment on a body that looks like theirs, because I cannot do that, unfortunately. I would like to, but I can't. So yeah, big shout out and thank you to the testers in the larger sizes. Now, one last thing about this pattern is about the name. So the name 30s top came because this bow on the front is inspired by first it got inspired by a ready-to-wear top that I saw on another podcaster. But other than that, it's also that I really like the look of what is apparently called pussycat bows. It's someone in the comments that told that to me. I didn't know they actually had a name. So the pussycat bows is like a trend, I would say, that kind of got more popular in the 30s. I'll put up a picture so you can see what I talk about. They're also called lavalière bows. And I could have called the pattern the pussycat top. It would have been really cute, but also I don't think I was ready to make a pattern that way. I mean, it's a bit too politically involved, I think, because of the pussy hat and all of that, and it's just not what this is. It was not a political stand in any way. So I decided to go with 30s top because the pussycat bows became popular in the 30s. So that's where the name comes from. Fun fact. Alright, that's all about this one. So now I would like to talk about my finished object. Oh, the first one is this one. I finished it yesterday. I mean, she's so glorious. Look at her. Oh my god. This is my plume top pattern, or I should say the plume dress. It's an option available in the pattern. So the plume top / dress is currently in testing. It's a halter style neck. So you start at the top with the neckline here. It's double-sided stockinette. And then you start knitting the front and the backs, like so. And on the back there is this keyhole opening, so that you can actually fit your head through the neckline. And then once you join the body in the round, at the underarms, you just knit with some increases to have an A-line shaping, so that in my case, my hips are wider than my bust or whatever. It's wider than anything on my body. So I just needed a bit more room. So there is A-line shaping included in the pattern for that. And the star of the show are the stripes. Ah, they are so beautiful. So the yarn I used is Knitting for Live Pure Silk. And the purple is plum, the yellow is dusty honey, and the green is pea shoots. And I don't think you can see it. No, you really cannot see it at all. There is some glitter. I held the yellow strand with actually 2 strands of, I think it's called Glitter by Drops. I'm gonna grab it. I put it inside the pure silk ball, but it's this. So I had 2 strands of this with 1 strand of the pure silk, because with just 1 strand of the glitter, you just couldn't really see it. So 2 strands did the trick. And I was a bit worried I would feel like, because it's kind of a plasticky material, it's polyester or whatever. And I was a bit worried it would be itchy, that I could feel it. And I can a tiny bit on the back, but when I stopped thinking about it, I cannot feel it anymore. It's just when I'm really concentrated, like, can I actually feel something itching my body? Then yes, I can, but otherwise, it's not bothering me. So that's good news, because I was really worried about that. It would have been a shame if I knit this whole dress and it was itchy. Yeah, but it's a shame that you cannot see it on the camera. It's super, super obvious in real life. Like, you really cannot miss it. Even if I don't tell you, it's like one of the first things you can see. Fun fact, I saw Leah, I'm going to talk about this later again, but Leah from Leah Knits, we met a couple of weeks ago and she saw my work in progress, and the first thing she said was like, oh, but the glitter is really obvious. Yeah, it is. But you cannot see it on camera. I'm sorry. So this morning we had the photo shoot with my photographer, and one of the things we photographed is this, and we tried so hard, so hard to take a picture where we could see the glitter. I don't know, maybe in editing she will be able to do something, but yeah, it's a shame because it's really adding like at least 30% of the charm of the dress is the glitter. Anyway, it didn't really take that long. First, because it's not a big size, I will be honest, it's size 2, so it's not that big either. But the stripes, it helped so much. Like the potato chippy aspect of the stripe, it just made the body go so fast. Because the top version, which is of course a lot smaller, it's cropped and I didn't do the A-line shaping. And it was only 1 color, so I didn't have the regular increased rounds, and I didn't have the stripes, and it took ages. Like, I felt like it was never gonna end. I don't know. Halfway through the body, I was like, oh my god, I'm so done with this. And I feel like the dress went a lot faster than the top because of the stripes and because I had the increased rounds every so often. I don't know. I just flew through it. I think it took me, between the moment when I joined in the round and I finished, it took me 10 days. I knit a lot, but I didn't do only knitting at all. I went climbing, I worked on some patterns, I had some work to do. I did a ton of stuff. Yeah, so if you really like look into it and you stay focused on the rhythm of the stripes, like just one more stripe, it feels a lot less daunting, I think. Just my opinion. Oh yeah, regarding the blocking, when I finished it, it was too short. But this is pure silk and it's a dress, there's a lot of fabric, it's not that heavy. I used 3 balls of purple. This is what I have left of the 3rd ball. And then this of the contrast colors. So it's like 200 grams, a bit more. But still, it's silk and it's literally hanging from the halter here on the neck. So I knew it was going to stretch out. So I was like, I don't want to knit it too long because I really don't like dresses that are too long. I prefer too short than too long. So I stopped when it was too short. I blocked it pretty aggressively. Like I really stretched it out and I didn't really pay attention when I lifted it out of the water. I like pulled it like this, knowing it would stretch out the body because it's what I wanted. So I laid it to block on the blocking mats and I put that on the l'étendage. And I put that l'étendage outside because we are currently in a heat wave again, so I knew it would dry really fast if I put it outside. And Mr. Tinks showed up and I told him, hey, look, I finished my dress. And he went to look and the first thing he said was, it's really short. Yes, it's a bit short, I know. And when I tried it on, so that was yesterday, and when I tried it on this morning when it was dry, it was almost the same length as before I blocked it, which was a bit shocking, considering how like extreme I was with blocking. But I also stretched it widthwise quite a lot, so I guess that counteracted the stretching out lengthwise. But after wearing it for a while, it did stretch out on my body. And then we had the photo shoot and I was moving around, changing clothes, all of that. And by the time when I got back home a few hours later, it gained a at least 3 to 4 centimeters, which is just the perfect length. So that's like 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches. And with a dress, the limit, the difference between too short and perfect length is actually really small. So yeah, it's just what I needed. So now it is actually the perfect length, and I'm so glad I stopped there, because at some point I was like, I'm gonna have to add more, but I'm not sure I have enough. I mean, I have enough because I have 2 more balls of this, which is super annoying. But yeah, I wasn't sure I would have enough green, so I was already trying to think if I need to buy more yarn. But actually it's fine, it's a perfect length. The body is 60 centimeters from the underarms. So I think for someone that wants like a length that wouldn't show your butt when you go upstairs, maybe 65 centimeters. I'm perfectly average height. I'm 169 centimeters, 5'6". Yeah, really average. One more thing I wanted to mention about this is that the opening, the keyhole opening on the back is closed with a ribbon, as you can see. And since this neckline is a channel, like it's a double folded over thing, and you can pass a ribbon through it. And on the first one, the top version, I passed the ribbon through the whole thing, and I closed the ribbon on the back by doing a knot. But it was a little bit choking me because the ribbon is fabric and it's not stretchy at all. And it's a bit uncomfortable, like when you move, you lean forward, stuff like that, it can kind of feel a bit tight, which I didn't really like. And I was like, this is a bit dumb, because knitting is actually stretchy and would be comfortable. So why don't I take advantage of that? So what I did here is I took the ribbon, I cut it in half, and then I sewed it here on each end. And then I can tie the ribbon like this, which was also really helpful because this was way too short anyway. I got it from a box of chocolate. But it's the same glitters and the same colors as the glitters of the dress that you can see, so it really matches perfectly. And that way, when the back, the keyhole is closed, you still have the elasticity of the neckline, the knitted neckline, and the fit is just so much more comfortable, so I'm definitely gonna put that in the pattern. And if you're testing this, do this, because it's gonna be better. Or buy an elastic ribbon, but those tend to be really thick, so I'm not sure about that. I completely forgot to mention something. This is Maya from the future, by the way. This is how I held the glitter double, because you cannot hold double from a spool like this. You can't pull from the inside of the spool. So I unwind a bit on an empty bobbin thing, and then I was holding both of them together. And this one stayed inside this ball so that it wasn't flying everywhere while I was knitting, which kind of kept things a bit more contained. That's how I did it. There is also one more thing I wanted to mention, because, I don't know, people were so invested about this pattern. When I was wearing the plume top in the podcast, I think, did I wear it in the podcast? I think I did. I was wearing nipple covers because of the lace motif here. Some of them, I mean the lace here, those are holes, and they do tend to align perfectly with what you don't really want to show on your chest. So I was wearing nipple covers in the form of like little silicone discs, and they had a sticky side, so you just stick them onto the boobs and they stay there. But it's like a kind of glue, and it wears out after a few wears, and then you have to buy them again, which feels really wasteful, and I didn't like it. So I had heard about the brand Cakes, which is basically silicone pads thing. They have some sticky ones, but they also have non-sticky pads, stuff, things. And they market them as like you put them on your breast and they just stick by themselves thanks to the body heat. And I had seen lots of mixed reviews about that. I even got so many messages from people that were really invested in this and told me, no, they don't stick to the body. You have to wear them under something that's tight to you so that they stay in place because of the like tightness of the top or whatever you have on top of that. Be it a bralette or a fitted top or whatever, but they don't stay there on their own. And I had seen on internet exactly this, and I had also seen a few people that said, if you put them on really carefully, like in this very specific way, and you choose the smaller size, blah, 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 lots and lots of advice, then yes, they can stick on by themselves. So, you know, it's the kind of thing that's in the internet. It depends. It just depends on the people, on the ton of stuff. So you never know until you try for yourself. So I bought them, which was a whole ordeal because they of course do not ship to Switzerland, like half of the brands in the US. And I had to have them shipped to a friend that lives in Belgium. And when she went back to Belgium to visit her family, she picked them up for me and then she brought them back. So it took a while for me to get them. But when I got them, I tried them on and like I just put them on my boobs and they just stuck. They didn't move at all. And I tried to wear them for the whole day and I wasn't wearing a fitted top or anything. They were just on their own and they just stayed. They didn't move. Actually, I have them on here and I mean, it's not as if they are going anywhere. So it really depends on the people. And I didn't do anything particular. I just slapped them on and that's it. Didn't do anything. So I'm sorry to say this, but it just depends on the size and the shape of your breast. And I just happened to have the perfect size. It was the magic solution for me and it changed my life. And I can wear this type of dress that's a little bit see-through or the Plume top without worrying that anything is going to fall out at some point. Like for the photo shoot this morning, it was so hot and I was sweating so much, but they just stay there. So yeah, I know it's not going to work for everyone. So if you're unsure and you don't have a similar size than me, then please don't take this as an advice or a guarantee that it's going to work for you because it's probably not, let's be real. But for some people, it does work and it's really a game changer. Anyway, not sponsored. I bought them with my own money and I could not even have them shipped to me, so definitely not sponsored. Anyway, I think that's all for the Plume dress, Plume top. I'm not really sure how I should call it. Maybe I should just call it Plume on Ravelry so that there is no like misunderstanding that it's both a top and a dress. Or maybe I should call it Plume top / dress, but that's not really pretty. I don't know, we have time to see. This is going to be released in mid-August, so in a month from now. So, that's it for this one. Now, let's talk about my beautiful, bountiful sweater. That I have finished, and it looks so good! Last time had I finished both sleeves? Maybe, I'm not sure, but I was like here in the body, and the neckline wasn't finished. So now it is completely finished, blocked, beautiful. The zipper is in. Can I show it to you? Oh, you know what? It's inside out. I didn't even notice. Wow, okay. Interesting, so you can actually wear it inside out, apparently. It doesn't look too bad. But it's better on the other side. Let's start over. This is my beautiful, bountiful sweater. This is what it's supposed to look like. Because you have those motifs that look like, I forgot again, crops? Yeah, you get what I mean. And this, yeah, it's just a crop theme going on through the whole textures. And there is this zipper here. And yes, I ended up going with the red zipper because I was really, really careful when I sewed it in so that you wouldn't have too much of the red showing. So I think it's pretty subtle. It's very me. I really like it. Yeah, and I finished it. It's blocked, it's beautiful. I cannot wear it because heat wave. There is one morning when I wear it because it was really cold. There was a thunderstorm and the temperatures dropped down. It's a little bit itchy, but I knew it because this is, so the yarn, this is Solace worsted by Wool & Twine Fibre Studio. And it's a mix of 75% Rambouillet and 25% brown BFL. And I know BFL is itchy. Everybody says it's like next to Skin Soft, it's amazing, it's blah blah. For me, it's itchy. I'm really sensitive. So unfortunately, this is itchy. And the neckline is not too tight if I don't close it. If I close it, then it's really, I mean, it's what it's supposed to be. It's what I designed it to be. So yeah, I don't know yet if it's like wearable on a whole day, because most of my sweaters are itchy anyway, because everything is itchy for me, which is also why I prefer summer knitting, because I can knit with linen or silk, which are not itchy. And yeah, some sweaters are like sweaters I can wear for 2 hours, some other I can wear for 6 hours, some of them I can wear for 2 days, but then on the third day it gets unbearable. It's how I rank my sweaters. So I don't know yet in which category this one is going to fall. I hope it's at least a 2-day sweater. Is it only me that does this? Or is it everyone that has a sensitive skin? Please tell me I'm not the only one. So the test is currently testing. The pattern is currently in testing. That's what I wanted to say. It started 2 weeks ago, and yes, I am going to talk about it a little bit, because apparently people are expecting me to talk about this, so I will mention it, but I'm not like 2 minutes maximum, because I don't want to give any more credits to those people and what happened. So basically, there was kind of a drama, because when I did the test call for this sweater, the sample wasn't 100% finished because it was only steam blocked, and the neckline was still the older neckline, so the one I showed in the last episode. Basically the opening here went until the bottom. And on the edge here, this is a bit cleaner than what I had before. That's it. It's the only differences. But on Reddit, on the subreddit Craft Snark, somebody decided that it was not acceptable, and they had to complain that designers should do better and should wait until their sample is 100% finished before publishing a test call. Which is a valid concern, but there are ways to say things. Anyway, it was a whole story, it was a whole thing. I did some mistakes too. I didn't know the rules of Craft Snark, and that you are supposed to never talk about what's happening on Craft Snark outside of Craft Snark, because then I mentioned it on Instagram, and then a few people went on the post and defended me, but apparently this is forbidden, which I had no idea about, but now I know. And I also answered on the post because I was being accused of stuff. I just wanted to defend myself. And then they started to lose their mind, because how dare the designer answer to the post, we just want to snark in peace, like, doesn't she know how Craft Snark work? And I was like, no, I don't even know what snark mean. Like, English is not my first language, I just didn't know that, so now I know. People on Craft Snark just want to snark, and they are not interested in hearing about the other side point of view. They don't want to be constructive. You live and you learn. Anyway, I'm just gonna take the good that came out of this. I learned that some people find it really unacceptable that have an unfinished sample when you do a test call. 2 centimeters at the bottom of the neck, and there was a drawing in the test call that explained exactly what this was gonna look like. And I showed a ton of swatches in my podcast, showing how this fabric and this exact texture was going to look like once blocked. But now I know for the future. And another good thing is that I got a mini wave of new subscribers on YouTube, so welcome you guys! I hope you enjoyed this. And if you subscribed just to hate watch me, I hope you find better things to do with your time. But for the others, welcome. I'm happy you're here. So, about this, I don't have much to say. I just finished my sweater and it's beautiful. And that's kind of it. Did I write anything? Oh yeah, just again about the subreddit thing. Please do not go there and comment to defend me, because again, this is apparently forbidden, so just don't, okay? Please. They are angry enough at me, you don't need to like add, how do you say that? Ajouter de l'huile sur le feu. Please don't. Thank you. Alright, that's all for this one. Now, let's talk about the 2 mini finished objects I have, which I have already shown in the June stash update. So yeah, I'm gonna go really fast on these. So this is a glasses case. I confirmed that it's glasses case, even though it sounds really bad, but it's glasses case. And it's just what it sounds like, so you can put your glasses in there, and this clippy thing closes like this, and it's super cute. I knitted using, somebody explained how to pronounce it. I used Shapies Katona, which is 100% cotton. It's kind of this amigurumi type of mercerized cotton. And, oh, there is a marker. Oops. And it's a very basic one, so I did a Juicy Magic cast on at the bottom, and then I knit up in a tube. I did some increases here on the bottom so that we wouldn't have sharp corners, and then I did the cute dainty lacy flowers. And then pearl ridges here at the top to wrap around the closure thing. This is a scrunchie, a hair scrunchie. I used drops brushed alpaca, something. in the colorway Bordeaux, whatever. So those 2 yarns were given to me by my local yarn shop. It's getting worse every time. Local yarn shop, Douce Broderie, because I'm gonna give a workshop to teach how to do those. And so she gave me the yarns to make them. Regarding the colors, so this one I didn't choose because it was just a leftover she had laying around in the shop. But then I had to choose the color for this one. I wanted to choose teal, because I love teal, or red, or purple, but I was like, no, Maya, go out of your comfort zone, choose something different. So I went with pink. I like pink, but this is really like a bubblegummy pink. It's an accessory, I'm not gonna wear it, I'm probably not even gonna use it, maybe I'm just gonna leave it at the shop so that it's displayed there, so I'm probably not even gonna use it. So I went with pink because it's actually the, how do you say that, the main color, the color of the shop. Like the shop is pink, the inside, some walls are pink, the logo is pink, the shop is pink, so I was like, I'm just gonna pick pink so that if she wants to display it in the window of the shop, it looks nice with the rest of the shop. This is why I chose this. But I still really like it, and also they look good together in pictures, which we did this morning during the photo shoot. It's really tricky to take nice pictures of stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully the pictures turned out good, but yeah. I'm gonna write the instructions on how I did those in the Ravelry project pages, but I'm gonna publish those once the workshop is finished, which is gonna be in, I forgot, 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, if you really want to do exactly those, even though you can find tons of scrunchie patterns online, but this one has a few rows of eyelets. I don't know, if you really want to know how I did this, I'm gonna put the notes in my Ravelry project pages in 2 to 3 weeks. Now, that's it for this one. We can talk about my last project, which is my cast on for the episode, because since I finished the sweater and the dress, I cast on something new. And it looks like nothing for now. This is a Melon Cowl. So last year I published the Melon sweater, which is a beautiful all over slip stitch motif, slip stitch texture sweater, but it's quite involved. Like the shoulder shaping, it's contiguous style sweater, so everything happens at once. You have to do the front neck shaping, the increases, and then the short rows on the back. It's quite involved. A few people have asked if I could do like a simpler pattern using the same stitch motif, so I was like, yes, of course. So I did a cowl. I did the first version last year because I gifted it to my mom. So this is what it looks like. It looks a bit weird for now, but I'm gonna insert a picture of me wearing it. It's one of those very popular styles of cowls where you knit it kind of sideways and then you seam on the back here. And that way it's really easy to like understand how the stitch works, how to do increases and then how to do decreases. You can kind of familiarize yourself with all the techniques, and then if you feel ready, you can then tackle the sweater. You can absolutely do the sweater without doing the cowl beforehand. A lot of people did. It's not that hard. It's just the instructions, like you really need to focus. So I did this one for my mom. So it's not mine, it's hers. And I wanted to do another one for me. And the yarns I'm using are really special, both of them. This one is handspun. This is a very, very local to me sheep breed. It's called Mouton des Aravis. Usually it's brown, like Brun des Aravis, but this one is black. It's natural black. I mean, it's brown, of course, but it's actually the color of my hair. So it's dark brown. And I handspun it a few weeks ago. I actually did a vlog, and by the way, thank you so much for your support on this vlog. Like, it did so well. I often complain that my spinning vlogs are the worst performing videos of my channel. Not anymore, apparently, so thank you so much. Yeah, so it's kind of a sport weight. I don't really know, it was my first time doing a long draw, supported long draw. So it's a bit thick and thin, but I think overall it's a sport weight. And this was gifted to me by the maker, which is Katie from La Ferme du Beau, which is a farm in France. And she has her own sheep and she raises them, she shears them, she has the yarn spun, and each year she makes a new blend because the flock isn't the same every year. And she explained to me that it also depends on what they eat, on the weather conditions, and yeah, it just depends on a lot of things. And since it's a small flock, it actually makes a difference to the spin every year. So every year she gives a new name to the spin. And this year it's Joyeuse, La Joyeuse. I don't think I can translate that, but it's really cute. And this is hand-dyed with natural pigments, and it's kind of a variegated color. It's really pretty. It's like a purple, green, pink. Oh, completely up my alley. I love it. So I saw her at the Woolstock Festival a couple of months ago, and she wanted to give me a skein, so I chose this one. And Katie, she did test knit the melon sweater, and it felt like a full circle moment to do the melon cowl using her yarns. So I'm doing that. So this is the main color, the one that's kind of on top, doing the slip stitch motif, and the contrast color is my handspun. Very local to me, handspun yarn. Amazing, I love it. And yeah, I'm super happy. Now, I did notice something. This is like purple. This one is pink and purple, because the main color is like a variegated pink, and the contrast color underneath is purple. I think you can see it better here. Yeah, it's purple. So they are absolutely in the same color family, which I'm a bit annoyed about, because I try to like show different things in my sample so that people who have different taste, like if someone doesn't like purple, maybe they want to see something with yellow or orange or just something else than purple. I absolutely didn't realize it until I think it was like yesterday. My parents came here to give this to me, and so that we could eat a piece of cake together. And I was like, wait a minute. This is the same color scheme. Didn't realize it at all. On top of that, I have knit the Inclinations Cowl by Andrea Maury. It's exactly those colors. It just happened. I used leftovers for the Inclinations Cowl, and it happened to be purple yarn with purple mohair and the dark, very dark brown contrast color. It's exactly the same colors of this. So basically, I think I'm gonna have to make another sample. But let me explain. My mom, she has allergy to cold, which is weird, but it's exactly that. She is allergic to cold. So when I knit this cowl for her, I wanted it to be like really thick, windproof, and just toasty, because if she gets cold, she gets like red, how do we say that, red patches on her skin, like an allergy. So I purposefully did this very thick. I used superwash yarn. The pink one is a cashmere blend. It's a random sock-based cashmere thing. And the purple one is also a sock yarn, but this one has silk in it. And they are both superwash. And yeah, it's quite dense, it's quite heavy, and it's superwash. And my mom, when she gave this back to me yesterday, she was like, I like it, but it's really like, I cannot breathe when I have it on, and it's so thick and heavy. And I was like, yeah, it's because it's superwash yarn. And it's pretty funny to me that she had this experience even though she knows nothing about superwash yarns, because that's what a lot of people complain about with superwash yarns, is that it's not as breathable as non-treated yarns. And it's exactly what my mom felt. And just after that, I showed the Plume dress to her, and she touched it and she was like, oh, that's the kind of fabric I would like the cowl to be in. And I was like, Mom, this is silk. It's like fingering weight silk. I'm not going to do a cowl in silk. It's not going to be warm at all. But she said, yeah, but in terms of the thickness and the lightweight thing, I would like something like that. So it got the gears going in my head. And I was trying to think, what kind of fiber could I use in a cowl that would feel just as lightweight and soft as silk, without being superwash, of course. And it took me a while, but I finally, it hit me. Cashmere, that's what she wants. She didn't know it, but that's what she wants. She just wants the lightness and the softness and the thinness of cashmere, of course. So I think the last sample I'm going to do is going to be in cashmere. I don't know which one yet. There is one that is produced in Switzerland, but it's not brushed, so it's definitely not as soft as, like, for example, the Cardiff cashmere. But Cardiff cashmere is really expensive, but also it's my mom. I mean, she deserves the most expensive yarn on earth, so we'll see. And I know she watches the video, so hopefully. Oh no, I completely forgot. So, Mom, you haven't heard anything. I didn't say anything. Now, I have also been thinking, of course, that the stitch pattern, the melon sweater, the melon cowl, all of that, there is melon. A melon is round. A melon is actually kind of the size of a head. A big melon is, but kind of. Of course, I have to make a melon hat at some point. I mean, I don't have to, but it would be really lovely, I think. So I also have the gears going as to how I could make a melon hat happen. I have some ideas. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do it yet, but the gears are turning. Maybe. I'm thinking about it. We'll have to see. But I also have an issue, like I'm super sensitive to wools on my skin in general, but on my forehead, everything is itchy. I have never, ever found a yarn that is not itchy on my forehead. Never. Even something that's completely next to Skin Soft on my body, forehead, is itchy. I have never tried cashmere. So maybe, if I buy the cashmere for my mom's cowl, I can also buy some to make a hat. I don't know yet. It's just a thought. Thinking out loud for now. That's it for my works in progress. I only have one. That's not true. I have two, but as I said, I cannot show you the other one because it's a secret. It's for a publication. And the test call is going to be next month, I think. Yeah, in August. We'll have to see. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Now, the acquisitions. I'm going to have to grab them. As I said, I met with Leah from Leah Amber Knits, the Ruby and Pearls knitting podcast on YouTube. So we've been chatting for a while on Instagram. I think we met the very first time because we tested together a pattern for Lily Kate France. But we didn't really chat like directly to each other. I just knew she existed because I saw her in this test knit. And then a couple of years later, or even a year later, I don't remember, we started chatting for a completely different reason. And I just recognized her from this first time I met her. And since then, we've been chatting regularly. And she's actually from Switzerland. I mean, she grew up in Switzerland. And now she lives in the UK, in Wales. And she comes to visit her family in Switzerland sometimes. And she did exactly that a couple of weeks ago. And she reached out saying, hey, would you like to meet since I'm going to be in Switzerland? And I was like, yeah, that would be cool. So we did that. And I went to Interlaken because that's where she was staying. It's like a 2.5 hours train ride from where I live, so not too far. And I love taking the train in Switzerland. It's really amazing. Yeah, so we did that and we spent the whole day together. It was so good. It was amazing. We did a lot of things. We went yarn shopping, we took a dip in the lake, we ate ice cream, we ate pizzas, and yeah, we did the touristy things in Interlaken. It was great. I had a great time. It was awesome. And Leah, she had a little gift for me. And in fact, she forgot to take it with her. So she had to mail it to me afterwards, which I found really cute. So this was the little gift. I mean, it's two of them. There was a third one. So the third one was a pin that says "Feeling Froggy," which of course she knows I'm the frogging queen. I'm always frogging stuff. So yeah, definitely suited for me. I put that on my backpack next to the little pin that Yule gifted to me when I bought this yarn. Yule from Wool and Twine. And she also gifted me this, which is a needle case. And it's so cute. And it's the perfect size for my DPNs because I did buy a needle case similar to this a couple of years ago, but I didn't have my DPNs with me. And when I came home and I tried to put my DPNs in it, it was too small because my DPNs are pretty long, so I never used it. So now I finally have a DPN case that's long enough for my needles. Thank you, Leah. And the last thing are those very cute needle stoppers shaped like cupcakes, muffins. And the thing that's great with those is that they are actually super small. The hole is super small and they fit on my tiny needles, which are the ones I use the most because I prefer small gauges. And all the needle stoppers I have, because I didn't check beforehand, they have a big hole. So they slide all the way to the bottom of my needles because the hole is too big. So now finally I have needle stoppers that fit my small needles. Thank you, Leah. It's as if she was in my head because I haven't talked about any of this with her. So thanks a lot. Really lovely gifts. And that's it. Next time we will see each other is gonna be next week for... Wait, I'm not sure now. When are we gonna see each other again? It's gonna be a spinning vlog because, as I said, the last spinning vlog went really well, so thank you so much. So it really like encouraged me to do more. And currently right now, Tour de Fleece is happening. I got a few questions about that. So Tour de Fleece is basically a bit like a knit-along, except it's a spin-along. And it happens at the same time as the Tour de France, which started 4th of July and ends in 3 weeks. And the idea is that while the wheels of the cyclist are turning, then the wheels of the spinners are also turning. So you spin while the cyclist cycle and you take a rest during the rest days of the cyclist. This is the basic idea, but the reality is that it's just a big knit-along, spin along, and you just spin whatever you want with the rhythm you want, the quantity you want, you do whatever. It's just a spin along, that's all. But I really enjoy watching spinning vlogs. There are not a lot of them out there. And I have a spinning project here that I would really like to tackle. And I thought Tour de Fleece would be a great occasion to do that. So hopefully, I'm not 100% sure yet, because I have a lot of work to do, pattern writing stuff, especially for the secret project. I really need to finish this. So if I find the time, I'm probably gonna do a Tour de Fleece vlog. It's just gonna be a spinning vlog. And it's gonna be amazing. I'm super excited. I really hope I can find the time to do that. Something that is not gonna happen is the summer knitting plans video, because as you may know, every end of season, like every trimester, I film a seasonal knitting plans video. And at the end of June / beginning of July, I should have done the summer knitting plans, but I haven't knit a lot during the spring. I just haven't. I had way too much work, pattern writing stuff. So I just didn't have a lot of knitting time, so I didn't finish a lot of things. And everything that's on my list for the spring plans, I still want to do, so I'm not gonna take out anything. And I don't have a lot of things to add for this summer. Basically, I'm gonna start a new colorwork sweater design, and I'm gonna do an accessory, maybe the melon hat. This wasn't in the plans, or something else, and that's all. That's all I have to add. So it felt a bit forced to film a summer knitting plans when I hardly finished anything, I'm hardly adding anything, and I'm not even taking out anything. So yeah, it just didn't feel useful to do that, so I skipped it. So this is not coming. If you're waiting for it, it's not coming. But definitely in the fall, so end of July, August, September, end of September, we're gonna have a fall knitting plans, and hopefully it's gonna be very different from the spring one, because hopefully I'm gonna have a lot more done and out of the list. Hopefully. And that's it. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new here, I hope you will stick around. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any future content from me. Thank you for your likes, thank you for your support, thank you for your comments, thank you for everything, thank you for being here. I hope to see you again next time. Happy knitting, I love you.